So an influencer on TikTok did a video that went viral where he tells his viewers to report strippers to the IRS. And he's allegedly making $60,000 a month by doing it.
Yes.
Now, you are very involved, as lawyer for workers, you're very involved in this whole thing. So, number one, is this a real video? Is this actually something that he did, or is he just lying about the whole thing?
Well, I don't know if the video is real, and I don't know if it's something he actually did, but this is a real thing. It's called IRS whistleblowers. And basically, if you know that somebody is committing tax fraud, you can report them. And if you report them, the incentive for you is you could collect typically between 15 and 30% of the penalty that the IRS collects based on your information. So, give you an example. Let's say you have a bunch of Instagram videos of a stripper making money, and over the course of, say, a month, she has posted, every weekend how much money she made that weekend. And you can tell from those 4 videos that she has made $100,000 in the month of January. You can go to the IRS with your videos. There's a form. It's a whole form with it. You can also hire a lawyer. You can tell a lawyer what you know. The lawyer will help you build the case. You're essentially building a case of tax fraud that the IRS will then pick up and assess a penalty on. So you go yourself, go with a lawyer, say, here are our Instagram videos, here's this person's name, here's where she lives. If you look up her tax filings for this year, I bet you won't see any of this income reported. And the IRS will, on a case-by-case basis, decide to act on your information. And they might take your information and issue, notice to the person that, hey, we're auditing you, or maybe your information is so good that they're just saying, hey, we're bringing a criminal case against you because we believe we have evidence showing that in 2020, in the month of January, you made $100,000, but when we look at your 2020 tax return, it says that your total income for that year was $92,000. So it stands to reason that not only did you not report $8,000, but you probably made, extrapolating from that January figure, you probably made close to $1 million and you didn't report any of it. So if you do all that and the IRS then assesses a penalty, you get a piece, right? So let's say somebody made $1 million and they pay no taxes on it. Really, their effective tax rate was like 40%. And so they owe the government $400,000, and the IRS files a case and a penalty is assessed of $400,000 on that person. You're going to take home 15 to 30% for providing the information that led to that case. Now, in practice, what the IRS is looking for is 2 things, or call it one thing, a big slam dunk. Okay, so if you've got somebody who has evaded a lot of taxes and you've got all the evidence on them, they will absolutely take that. They will absolutely charge them, and they'll give you that piece if they recover it. And like I said, you can get a lawyer to help you with that whole process. And you see this concept of a whistleblower lawsuit throughout legislation. What do I mean by that? So the IRS tax code has a provision for whistleblowers that says if you know anybody evading taxes, let us know. Likewise, you'll see it with the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. You'll see it with the PPP program. All these laws where the government either gives people money or is supposed to collect money from people. You can snitch, you can report, and you can say, hey, I know this person is evading this or this person is doing that. And you're blowing the whistle, and you get a percent of whatever the government ultimately collects. Look, this guy, I don't think he's, let's look at that video, right? That video is sort of contemporaneous. It's either at the same time, couple days, couple weeks after the girl posted her counting the money. So she wouldn't report that income until the following tax year, right? So if I'm counting money right now on my Instagram, I don't have to report that until April 2022, right? And I might file for an extension. So from that perspective, it seems a little suspicious. Also, the idea that he's doing it as just kind of a constant enterprise, making $60,000 a month, I don't know. That just doesn't add up to me. It's not that like rote, it's more like the IRS is going to look at it on a case-by-case basis. These cases drag on. The money would come in sort of fits and bursts, not necessarily a steady revenue stream. But hey, if he is, whatever, more power to him. You know, snitching pays. Not only do you get out of criminal sentences, but you can go and make yourself a little scratch.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. And, you know, listen, at the end of the day, how many strippers actually record and pay taxes on every dollar they get at the strip club? I'm sure 0% is the proper number. But, you know, how does the IRS actually even prove that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a slippery slope. But I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean, the IRS is not trying to take half-court threes. They want slam dunks. Like, you better have a very tight-knit set of evidence for the IRS to look at and go sue someone. Otherwise, they're just going to dump it in a pile of trash.
Exactly. I mean, I've been audited before, and I sat in, you know, it took me weeks to get my stuff together because I was very disorganized. This was like, when was this? This was maybe 12 years ago or something like that. Yeah, right after the housing crash, I remember, because that's usually what happens. After some sort of big economic downturn, usually the government gets that money back, whatever bailout money they paid, they get it back from auditing people and doing stuff like that, or going after the PPP loans and so forth. So I remember going through that whole process and sitting down with the IRS agent, and you know, they went through my QuickBooks and they said, well, this big charge, what's that? And I pulled out the paperwork and showed them. What about this big charge over here? Okay, that's a transfer. Well, show us what bank it went with. Okay, here we go. And then after doing that multiple times, he basically said, okay, we're just going to drop this case. This all looks legit. And you know, keep on going. So at the end of the day, pay your taxes. Pay your taxes and, you know, go on and live a good life.
Stay off that federale shit, as our guy Pop Smoke would say.